There are a lot of people that I've been communicating with recently that believe that Vivek Ramaswamy is merely a puppet of the World Economic Forum, that he's secretly working with them, with their agenda. I want to point out that everything that Vivek does is contrary to the WEF. The way that I originally heard about him was a year and a half ago, maybe, when he was coming out vehemently against E.S.G, environmental, social, and governance standards that BlackRock has tried to institute and are basically blackballing companies that don't adhere to their agenda, and thus they are going to have difficulty getting financing. That is a big part of the reason why so many companies are capitulating to BlackRock and to E.S.G. It is being forced on them, as Larry Fink once stated, that behavior has to be forced upon others. But Vivek is standing up to this. So here he is, in his own words. I want to come back, so please stay tuned to the end, because I want to say something else about this.
On August 1st, Fox News reported that you settled a lawsuit with the World Economic Forum after they failed to remove your name from its 2021 list of young global leaders, even though you declined the nomination. Why did your name continue to appear on World Economic Forum Young Global Leaders list, and what are your ties to the organization, if any?
Oh, so the ties to the organization are none. My only link was actually being the chief critic of their agenda. So everybody in this room might not even know what we're talking about. There's an organization called the World Economic Forum. They stand for a vision of the world called the Great Reset. What is the Great Reset? It's a different vision of how we're all supposed to live. It says that we have to dissolve the boundaries between the public sector and the private sector, between governments and companies, between nations, to be able to now work towards what they call the global common good. I'm against this. I am a citizen, not of some global citizen. I am a citizen of this nation, the United States of America. I'm proud of that. That is true. That means something to me. And on this side of the pond in 1776, we said that we, the people, determine how we sort out our differences, where every person's voice and vote counts equally. In the old world Europe, it was the other way. It had to be a small group of elites in the back of palace halls in old England that decided what was right for the rest of society at large. In this country, we said no to that vision. We, the people, decide our own destiny as citizens of a nation. So that old world view, though, it started to rear its head again in recent years in the form of this World Economic Forum. They hold a meeting every year in Davos. Klaus Schwab is the person who leads it. It's basically a view that says the citizens cannot be trusted on questions like climate change or racial injustice. It has to be settled by a class of global elites, including large billionaires. It's part of why they decided to name a lot of young billionaires. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, others have been named on their list. So a funny thing happens. I wrote my first book, Woke Inc. It was a criticism of this agenda. Every one of my books has, especially Capitalist Punishment, has gone into detail exposing some of the corruption in this worldview. I went on to start a company, Strive, to push against the E.S.G agenda. That's the manifestation of the Great Reset in our capital markets. But then a curious thing happens. A guy who's affiliated with the World Economic Forum reaches out and says, hey, we're going to give you an award. You're going to be named on our list of young global leaders with all this long list of billionaires. And Ibram Kendi was going to be on that list. And this is a guy I've been very critical of. So I said, no, I don't think this is going to be a good fit for me. I disagree with you all. If you want to have a debate, I'll debate anybody. But I'm not a good fit for your list. I declined the award. A few months later, my name shows up on the list anyway. It's interesting. I get a bunch of text messages from people. Congratulations. So I'm a little confused. So I said, wait a minute. I told you guys not to add me to this list. They said, oh, sorry, we'll take it off. Years later, it keeps popping up, a couple of years later. And so the people start asking, wait, why is your name on this list? So you know what I did? I don't believe in standing by. And there are other good allies like Glenn Beck, Elon Musk, others who have also been opponents of their agenda who have been named. But I believe in taking action. I believe in accountability. So I sued him. I sued him in court. And I'll tell you a little bit later on a lawsuit that I filed just earlier this week against the Department of Justice. I don't believe in just being a passive bystander. I believe in accountability. So I sued him and we got everything that we demanded, including, most importantly, a commitment that this organization would never again defang or try to undermine its opponents by ensnaring them on their own lists. And so I'm happy to say that we're not going to let anybody else off the hook. If Klaus Schwab tried to put me on his list, he ended up on my list, and that's how we roll and deliver accountability.
So there you have it in his own words. And yes, recently during the Republican debate, he did come out and he mirrored a line that Obama stated. And many people are using this to show that Vivek, while he claims to be for truth, is actually disingenuous. I'm perfectly okay with the fact that he's paraphrasing something that was successful for somebody else. I wish that he had come across in a different way. In all honesty, I personally wish that he had just stated, I'm polling number 2 in the polls right now. And many of you people haven't heard of me. By the end of this debate, I'm going to hopefully be able to show you why I'm polling so high. I think that would have been a far stronger introduction, but he has the right to run his campaign however he wants, and he's way further on the political scene than I could ever get. But regardless, the point that I wanted to state is that there is weapons-grade propaganda and influence that is going on behind the scenes, and it's my belief that that is why so many people have this doubt in the back of their mind regarding Vivek. You are being influenced by a machine that has become exceedingly good at changing people's minds and casting doubt where there might not be. And that is why people are illustrating. That is why the World Economic Forum kept him on their list for so long. It is a means to darken, to blacken the name of an individual that might be opposed to their views by casting doubt into the minds of potential voters and believing that they are actually on the side of the agenda that the voters oppose. So just consider that. Just consider that, and maybe we can all spot it, because I'm positive that I'm being influenced in some way that I don't know how, and the odds are you are too. So we have to be able to see it and to shine light on it when it's happening, and I do believe that this is one of those cases. So there was Vivek, in his own words, demonstrating that he is not at all part of the WEF. So please share this with your friends, this video, anybody who has doubts regarding this. Peace. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Have a fantastic day.